All right, David, so I've got a couple of additional questions for you, with you being our real estate agent extraordinaire here in the studio. Why don't you give us a little bit of perspective on what you see happening in the Charlotte real estate market? And really, Preston, I'd love to hear your slant or perspective as well.
Absolutely.
Here we are entering the spring of 2017. So what are your thoughts?
So right now, really seeing that the market continues to favor the sellers. So limited inventory here in the area, and as a result, you have more buyers competing for less homes. So anytime you create that, it certainly expands the demand. So there's a sense of urgency we're seeing right now, in which people are really wanting to get to homes quickly. They need to be there quickly in order to have that opportunity to get an accepted offer on a property.
Absolutely. Preston, what are your thoughts?
The same thing. I'll just dovetail on to what David said. I mean, there's limited supply and excess demand, which is good. But so what happens is, I've seen is, it's almost like a buyer has to lose a house to realize how serious you've got to be, because if you drag your feet, you're going to lose it. Somebody else is going to bid on it, and then even if you do get a contract on a house, to put yourself in the seller's shoes. You had 28 listings in the first 3 days. You accepted this offer. If they come in and get a home inspection and they want a whole lot of stuff, you'll be like, next. I mean,
right.
So
there's a line of people waiting to get it.
Yeah, a couple of years ago it was the other way around, where there were very few buyers and lots of sellers, and the buyers could, request a lot on inspections. I mean, it's just like, when there's low supply and high demand, you can't be quite as picky on the nitpicky stuff, and you've just got to be serious and make a deal and go.
Yeah, I'm seeing the same thing too, and it's interesting because having been running the show here for a couple of years, Rush Hour Radio, we actually had this happening 2 years ago, and you think, well, how long is this going to last, right? Because typically when you have low inventory, the pricing will climb over time, and
right.
I worry just because, having lived through 08, 09, 010, even 011, where things were tough. Hope we're not going back there. One thing that I do share with confidence is, back in those days, we had all those loans where you didn't verify income, you didn't have to have a job, if you had a pulse, and we could give you a loan.
You knew that could be
right. So the one thing I know that's a lot different than then, in terms of now, is that at least when customers are qualifying to buy a home, they're doing it legitimately, they're following the guidelines, and they're more likely going to be able to afford that home in the future and make their payments, because we're doing it the way that it should be done. So
I have a quick question for you. Where is the buyer-seller market? I've heard, is it 6 months, or where it's
a
equal?
3 to 6 months supply would be typically in balance. Am I right on that, David?
That's correct, absolutely. And depending on price point, you're seeing inventories that match that here in the Charlotte area, and then you have some other price points in which it is much smaller. That supply is reduced, and again,
well, what are the hottest price points, if you don't mind me asking?
If you're looking really, I specialize in the South Charlotte market.
Anything that's for sale.
Anything for sale, and specifically anything under that 300,000 price point, you're really seeing those properties snapped up quickly. So,
and that's what I tell people too. I'm seeing, really, in some areas like your Valentine's and South Park, it's pretty hot, even 400 and under. But you're right. I tell people between 3 and 4. It's like you better be writing the offer on the way over to see the house, because if not, you're behind the 8 ball.
We often joke in the office, if you need time to think about it, you're not going to sleep in the house. So if you sleep on it, you're not going to sleep in it.
Oh, there you go. If you sleep on it, you're not going to sleep in it.